What is a 5-year Medicaid Asset Protection Trust? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So sometimes you'll see 5-year Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. The acronym that we'll often use is MAPT, M-A-P-T, which stands for Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. And this is a tool that's used in sort of one of two settings. The first one is for our clients, which is the minority of clients, but we have clients who come to us in advance who recognize that they will likely need long-term care in the future, and they say, we don't think we're going to need it in the next 5 years, so let's create a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust to take advantage of the 5-year look-back period where we get not all of our assets, but a substantial portion of our assets out of our name now into this asset-protected trust, so that in 5 years, whatever's in that trust will be invisible as far as Medicaid is concerned, and then we can apply for Medicaid. We'll be much closer to being able to apply for Medicaid to pay for care at home, care in an assisted living facility, or care in a nursing facility. The other kind of broad use of a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust is for my clients who have a substantial amount of money. Maybe they have $2 million, $2.5 million, $1 million, something like that, and they might need care now, or they expect to need care within the next 5 years. We can say, okay, let's think about how much care you're going to need over the next 5 years, considering your income sources, because that's not going to change, and considering what you have in the bank and in investments and in IRAs, and let's think about what we want to keep in your name to privately pay for that care, and let's then set everything else aside in the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. So we're kind of hedging a little bit. We're going, okay, we're recognizing that we're going to have to pay for our care. We're recognizing that we're going to delay the ability to get government benefits, but we're now going to reduce the amount of money we would ultimately have to come out of pocket by setting aside a chunk of our money now, waiting 5 years while we privately pay. Then after 5 years, we're going to apply for these benefits. Again, that doesn't make sense unless you have, typically over $1 million, $2 million, something like that. Okay, so those are kind of the broad uses. Now, I want to state, so that we're not confusing people, most of my clients can't wait 5 years. Most of my clients need help right now. They need Medicaid yesterday. So we have all these other tools that don't involve a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust that allow us to get money legally and ethically out of their names within 5 years. Typically within 60 days of us applying is when we'll do those. And there's ways to do that without the penalty, but they have pros and cons, and there's certainly some drawbacks to that. Ultimately, they'll benefit more, the more pros than cons, otherwise we wouldn't do it, but it's not as simple, it's not as easy as just getting stuff out of your name, right? So now back to the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. Some essential components of the trust that also make the tool not suitable for everyone, even if they have the time to plan, is with a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. My client, the client who's looking for Medicaid eventually, after 5 years, is the one person in this world who cannot be the trustee, meaning they cannot be in control of the trust, and they can't be the beneficiary during their lifetime, and it doesn't really matter, but after they pass away. So there's a different lifetime beneficiary and after death beneficiary. It's not my client. It's not the client who needs Medicaid or who needs care. It's often a trusted child, or more than one trusted child can be the trustee and the lifetime beneficiary. So they can receive money during my client's lifetime, but my client cannot receive the money and cannot control the money. The little security feature that we build in is we give our client the ability to fire the trustee and replace them with someone else who's not them. As long as it's not them or their spouse, then it's okay. But they can never be in charge, and they can never be the lifetime beneficiary. In some cases, we have the ability to give them income that comes out of the trust, but never principal. The idea is that if they had access to the principal, Medicaid would count it as an asset against you, and it would not help us in terms of protecting your assets from Medicaid eligibility. So we could really only use this device if we have family members, typically, or people who we have an immense amount of trust to do right by us and to manage this trust properly. Because if we don't have anyone in our life, or we don't trust the people in our life to do that, then this is never going to make any sense. So There's more to it than that. Obviously, this is a very complicated instrument, but I wanted to give you kind of a broad overview of what goes into a 5-year Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. And if you are able to wait 5 years, or you want to, you're in a position to privately pay, and then we want to kind of stop fully privately paying for our care, this can be a wonderful tool to use. And if you fall into the category of, I need help now, I don't want to wait 5 years, I want to pay for as little as I possibly can, we have other tools beyond that would not involve the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust that we can talk about as well. If you are anywhere in the state of Florida and want to have a conversation about Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, or anything about Medicaid planning or estate planning or probate avoidance, if you're in Florida, give us a call and visit the website and check out other videos. I try to get good information out to Floridians everywhere, and thank you very much for watching.